Hi, my name's Ed. I'm a double bass player in Blues and Roots Ensemble, and welcome to our second set of videos exploring the music of Charles Mingus. Charles Mingus was born in 1922 in America, and he wrote music from the 1940s to 70s that explored a wide range of societal issues. If you haven't already, please do check out the beginnings of our first video from our last set that we did, where we look at some jazz warm-ups, some singing posture, and the history behind the blues and where it came from. We're going to be expanding on those in this set of videos, diving a bit deeper into the concepts of the blues and learning 3 more songs. Our first set of videos was an introduction to jazz using music of Charles Mingus, and this set of videos is going to focus all about change and how music can be used in a positive way for change. The 3 compositions we're going to look at in these set of videos are Prayer for Passive Resistance, Meditations on Integration, and Ecclesiastics. And we're going to start with Prayer for Passive Resistance, which is based on a blues. Again, it's worth looking at Pete's description of the blues and the feeling that comes with it and where it came from, and we're going to look a bit deeper at it now.
Hi, I'm Flavio. I play drums in Blues and Roots Ensemble. In the previous video we discussed the right cymbal and how that propels the swing in jazz. Today we're going to discuss the pulse, the continuous beat in the music. Now I'm going to play the pulse for you to hear it on my bass drum here. So this is the pulse, so it gives the music that momentum. And in jazz, we give a lot of emphasis on the offbeats, on beats 2 and 4. And I'm going to play those on the hi-hats. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you clap this music, really pay attention to the hi-hat and try to clap with the hi-hat. Now, I'm going to add the right cymbal pattern that you know from the previous video, Walk the Dog, and it all comes together like this. So if you feel like clapping to this music, please pay attention to the hi-hat. And when I'm going to meet you, we're going to discuss this in more detail.
As you know, the theme of these videos is music for social change. Music's been used for centuries as a vehicle of expression, and particularly jazz and blues have been used at the forefront of the American civil rights movement in the 50s and the 60s. Now, I just want you to take a moment and think about what's important at the moment in the world. If you were writing music right now, what would you be writing for change for? The 3 Mingus compositions we are looking at take us on a journey through the push for integration. We're going to start with Prayer for Passive Resistance, with specially written lyrics by Blues and Roots member Tara Minton. Now, this was first recorded while on tour in Antibes, France in 1960. At this moment in time, it was a moment of transition in the civil rights movement where sit-ins were beginning to make changes in the South in the USA. A sit-in was where a group of African American people would go and sit at the lunch counter in a diner where they were legally prohibited from sitting. They would be refused service, but they would wait it out until they were forcibly removed, and this moment was often captured on television. Prayer for Passive Resistance evokes a longing for change, a conviction that it needs to happen, and a real hope that it will.
Hello! So we're going to talk a little bit about vocal technique and healthy voice practice. So if you're not already, stand up with me. Now my knees are really bent and loose. And look at my arms. Pretend your arms are like ropes that are just dangling from your shoulders. And speaking about shoulders, let's give them a roll, shall we? Let's have our bodies be really free and relaxed. And while we're at that, let's add our lips into this, because our lips are really important for forming words. Can you make that sound with me? Oh, I'm feeling really relaxed. Now, when we breathe, we don't breathe with our shoulders up around our ears, do we? Because my voice is all tight and... We need loose, free bodies for a loose, free voice. So can you breathe down here? Let's all put our hands on our bellies and let's do a big breath down here with loose knees, loose, relaxed shoulders. Are you ready? Breathe with me. Now I feel ready to sing. Do you feel ready to sing?
So we're going to start on Prayer for Passive Resistance by singing the bass line. I'm a double bass player, and the bass line kind of underpins jazz music. Before we start on learning the bass line, we're going to talk a bit about scat. Scat is these syllables that we can put in front of jazz phrases that help make them sound a bit groovier and make them easier to sing. So the syllables that we're going to be using for this bass line are ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. If we're standing correctly and feeling nice and relaxed, we're going to look at singing our first part of the bass line. And it's going to sound like this. I'll sing it first and then you sing it. We're going to sing ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Try it twice after 3. 1, 2, 3. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. And then we have an extra tag the third time we do it that sounds like this. Me first. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Do, da. Do, da. Try that after 3. 1, 2, 3. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Do, da. Do, da. So if we try the whole thing, both those phrases together, me first, it will sound like this. Me. 1, 2, 3. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Do, da. Do, da. Now you try it all together after 3. Nice and relaxed, really mouthing those syllables clearly. 1, 2, 3. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Ba, do, ba, dee, do, da. Do, da. Do, da. So when we come to performing the whole piece, hopefully some of you will be performing it with us in a theatre, or if you're just in your classrooms performing it, when you see the full video of this, you'll hear the band, or the rhythm section of the band, play that phrase twice, and then you can join in and sing that whole phrase twice with the band. And that's the start and the end of the song. So going back into a blues bass line, the blues is a set form of bars. It can be used for lots of different types of expression in music, to express happiness, to express sadness, to express joy, to express grief. It can be used in lots of different ways, but the form of it tends to stay the same, with a few variations within it. So if you understand the concept of what bars are in music, the blues is a 12-bar form, and it's divided into 3 sets of 4 bars. If you're not familiar with what bars are in music, you can just understand that it's a form that's set and divided into 3 sets. And the first 4 bars, the first section of the blues, is pretty simple, it just stays the same. And we're going to use that little riff from the beginning of this video, from the beginning of Prayer for Passive Resistance, and we're just going to sing the same thing. We're going to sing ba do ba dee do da. We're going to sing it 4 times. I'll go first, it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Ba do ba dee do da. 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 So it's the same thing sung 4 times. Should we try that all together? 1, 2, 3. Ba do ba dee do da. 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 Great. Now you might hear that my voice is a bit low. If you're still in primary school and you're singing along, we still want to be singing your nice high voices, even though we're singing a bass line. The next 4 bars move up a section for 2 and then back to our original section for 2. So it sounds like this. Me first. 1, 2, 3. Ba do ba dee do da. Ba do ba dee do da. Then back to the original. Ba do ba dee do da. Ba do ba dee do da. So I'll play that whole thing again. Ba do ba dee do da. Ba do ba dee do da. Then back down. Ba do ba dee do da. Ba do ba dee do da. So let's try that whole section, moving up for 2 and then back down for 2. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. 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 So that's our first 2 sections of the blues learnt. And we can try and put together the whole of the first 2 sections. I'll play the whole thing through, the first 2 sections through, and then you can sing it afterwards. The first one starts like this, me first. 1, 2, 3. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. 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 Let me go up. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Back down. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. So let's try and sing that all together now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. 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 Up. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Back down. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Hopefully by now, after the first 8 bars, you're beginning to really get your mouths around those scat phrases and hear the shape of the blues. So we're going into the last section, our last 4 bars of the blues. And in jazz, we call this section the turnaround, where something traditionally different happens. So for the turnaround, we're going to start by going up 1 more step and then back down a step. So the turnaround's going to sound like this. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. So we're going to go up a step and then down a step to start. After me, I'm going to sing it one more time. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Okay, so that's our start note. Ba. Can we try that after 3? 1, 2, 3. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. And we're going to finish the whole pattern. This is what makes it a little bit Mingus-y. Charles Mingus, our composer that we're talking about, he adds this little cool tag on the end, which actually we've learnt as our introduction, and it sounds like this. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da, doo-da, doo-da. So if I sing the whole of the last section, I'll sing it first so you can hear it. 1, 2, me. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da, 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 doo-da, doo-da. And that's the last section. Now you try it with me. Here's your notes. 1, 2, 3. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da, 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 doo-da, doo-da. So that's the whole 12-bar outline of the blues. And that's the bass line that's going to go round and round and round for Prayer for Passive Resistance. Let's try the whole thing all together. We're going to jump straight in. It's quite long, so I think we'll just jump in and do it all together. Ba, that's our first note. 1, 2, 3. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. 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 Going up. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Down. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Then the turn around. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Back down a step. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Ending the Mingus vibes. Ba-do-ba-dee-doo-da. Doo-da. Doo-da. That's our bass line all the way through. I hope you got that. Again, if this feels like a lot of information to take in, feel free to rewind the video, watch it over again. And there's a full recording of the band playing this song, so you can join in and sing the bass line. When we perform this, we're all going to sing the bass line through after the instruction. So we're going to sing the instruction and then sing the whole bass line through. And Gabriella is going to teach you the melody afterwards. If when we're performing this, you really enjoy singing the bass line, for me, I'm a double bass player. I like playing the bass lines. I like underpinning all of the music. If you want to continue to sing the bass line all the way through the tune, if you're thinking that's really fun, I just want to keep doing that, then you can keep doing that all the way through and just keep singing the bass line. And you can accompany the melody that's going to go on top. So that's the bass line for Prayer for Passive Resistance.
Hi, I'm Gabriella, and I'm going to be teaching the melodies to our songs. The first song we're going to learn is Prayer for Passive Resistance. We're going to start by learning the words to the chorus. So I'm going to go first, and then it'll be your turn. So have a listen to this. Come, let us stand for change.
Come, let us stand for change.
Come, let us stand beside.
Come, let us stand beside.
Those who stand on their own.
Those who stand on their own.
Show them they're not alone.
Show them they're not alone.
Hands up, stand up.
Hands up, stand up.
Raise your voice for change.
Raise your voice for change.
Now, that was quite a lot of words, but we've got the words down below, remember. So just have a look at those for reference, and please remember as well that you can pause at any time and rewind. We're going to put all of that together in bigger chunks just so that we can get the hang of it. So again, my turn, your turn. Come, let us stand for change.
Come, let us stand for change.
Come, let us stand beside those who stand on their own.
Come, let us stand beside those who stand on their own.
Show them they're not alone.
Show them they're not alone.
Hands up, stand up, raise your voice for change.
Hands up, stand up, raise your voice for change.
Great. Now we're going to add the melody to those words. So have a listen to me and then repeat. 3, 4, 1. Come, let us stand for change. Come, let us stand beside. Your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 3, 4, rest. And then we continue on like this. 1, 2, 3. Those who stand on their own. And just notice we have an interesting bit there. We say on their own, on their rest, own. Try that with me. 1, 2, 3. On their own. Good. Let's put that together. 1, 2, 3. Those who stand on their own. Good. And then we have this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Show them they're not alone. Can you try that with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Show them they're not alone. Hands up, stand up.
Hands up, stand up.
Raise your voice for change.
Raise your voice for change.
Now let's put the whole thing together, now that we've learned the words and the melody. And remember, if you need to go back, please pause here and feel free to rewind or try it a few times if you need to. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come, let us stand for change. Come, let us stand beside those who stand on their own. Show them they're not alone. Hands up, stand up, raise your voice for change.
Yeah, my name's Dave. I play trombone in the band. I'm going to teach you now an additional melody to this tune, Prayer for Passive Resistance. This is something that Charles Mingus was very fond of doing. So there are several different parts going on. So we're going to learn this part. You've learned Gabriella's part. We're going to learn this part together, and then we're going to put everything together and see how it sounds. The parts can sound very good on their own, but they sound even better when they're integrated and they're all going together. The words are very simple. It's just the title of the tune, Prayer for Passive Resistance. We're going to say that 3 times. So it's going to go prayer for passive resistance, prayer for passive resistance, prayer for passive resistance, and then on the end, for change. So the lyrics are really, really easy. I'm going to sing this through once, And then it's very simple. You'll pick it up very quickly. Then we'll all sing it through together. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Prayer for passive resistance. Prayer for passive resistance. Prayer for passive resistance for change. That's all it is, just those 3 phrases and a little bit on the end. So we try it all together with everybody. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. For passive resistance. Prayer for passive resistance. 3, 4. Prayer for passive resistance for change. So that's the second additional melody. So now, teacher, if you want to stop the video here and separate your group into 2 halves. Group 1 will be Gabriella's melody. Group 2 will be mine, Dave's melody. And let's put the 2 together. Let's see how it sounds together. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. For passive resistance. For passive resistance.
So by now, we should have covered the 3 parts of Prayer for Passive Resistance. The bass line that I taught, the main melody using Tara's lyrics that Gabriella taught, and the 3rd part on top, the kind of added bonus part on top that Dave taught you through. If you're in a classroom and you want to try and be ambitious and play it all the way through in 3 different parts, you can divide your class into 3 and play the whole of Passive Resistance through just acoustically, just singing it through. There's a full take on YouTube, so do check it out, of the band playing it. So you can hear the introduction, the whole of the bass line through, the main melody, and the top melody on top of that. The other extension that you can take forward is if you want to try improvising to this blues pattern. Emma, in our first set of videos, gives a wonderful description of how you can use the melody to create improvised solos, to make up your own solos. You only need to use short cells. It doesn't have to be a long, expansive solo, but just using bits from the main melody, you can try and create some solos. And we've also added a backing track. So we've got 4 choruses of our blues, where you can sing and share some ideas, share them around the class, try some call and response. If you're playing instruments and you want to try and just make some sounds over those videos, feel free to be as creative as you like within the concept of the blues. And on the full recording, you can hear Gabriella take a scat solo and Pete take a piano solo over the top. But yeah, feel free to try and use those backing tracks and create your own solos over that. In the next video, we're going to be looking at 2 more compositions, Meditations on Integration and Ecclesiastics. If you have any comments or feedback about this song, whether you like the song, whether you've heard the original song, or whether you've tried, then please drop us comments, let us know, contact the band. It would be lovely to hear your responses. And we're very much looking forward to performing with some of you soon.